Okay, so now we begin the first session of the day, and we have two topics to discuss in this session. The first topic is going to be on the types of various approvals and clearances required during the entire life cycle of an oil block. This will be presented by Sri Joydev Lahiri. He is the CGM Environment Directorate General of Hydrocarbons. The next topic is on the guidance on obtaining prior EC under EIA Notification 2006, EC transfer process and preparation of sustainable EIA report. This will be presented by Dr. R.B. Lal. He is the Additional Director Scientist E and Member Secretary, Expert Appraisal Committee, Industry 3 Sector, Impact Assessment Division, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. May we welcome you. I would now request Sri Joydev Lahiri to start with the proceedings, please.
So this is a sensitization program what we are arranging, and DGH and ADG Environment has appraised the aim and goal. So this is a session where basically the operators, the stakeholders at state central levels will be together, and we request all participants the two things. In case of you have any queries when the authorities are present, whether the Pollution Control Board, Forest, the Ministry of Environment, Forest, or the mining DGMS, etc., YSD, you raise your questions. Since it's a virtual platform, you have to do the things either to the chat box or the whatever the means provided, what the event manager, event group can tell you. So that the interactive is the most thing, so that you get your doubts clarified and they also get answers. And second thing, that whatever things we share here, and if you can log your if you can log your email ID, then we can share the things to you, all documents. Next slide, please. The compliance universe is very, very large. This is just to give you a glance. We have 1,536 acts, 69,233 compliances, 6,618 filings in the various states central. Next slide. So these are the acts. You can say Indian compliance universe. The top bottommost one is the environmental acts, health safety is 1,007 acts, 2,922 compliances, 231 filings. The rest all are the finance, general, commercial, secretarial, industry specific, and labor. Next slide, please. This is we at the ENP operator has gathered. This is the global oil and gas chain. The ENP upstream sector, it covers the exploration, field development, production. We are now this workshop is specifically for the upstream. And there are in the global oil gas chain, we have midstream, downstream, which we are not going to discuss in these workshops. This is the ENP operations we are doing in the Indian basins. Right side in the map, you see we have got 26 basins where all the operators who are here, with the major giant operators, as well as the new entrants to the ENP business, you are all operating in these blocks. So category 1, 2, 3, you are all aware. Next slide, please. The oil gas field, the life cycle this is just to tell about the people who are not associated with the oil gas activities. Our activity starts first is to discover where is the oil field. Second thing is, suppose if you have a discovery, then you want to try to see how much is my reserve. So that is through the process of evaluation and appraisal. So this step 1 and step 2 we call it the exploration phase. So this is a phase, it takes time, say 1 to 10 years. It varies from the field blocks to blocks. Next comes is your development stage. In the development stage, when the discovery is there, you have evaluated the reservoirs. You are going for development of the field with the setting up the production facility, pipeline, etc., etc. And then you go production stage, and the production completes as per the strength of the reservoir, which may be. And once the reservoir is exhausted, then you go for the abandonment of the field, and we shine at the block. So the exploration activities we do with the PLs normally, with the PL, Petroleum Exploration License, given for 4 years, and the EC is given for that is category B2. and for the operated the development activities carried out to the A category EC from the center. So we have got today with us the expert from the Ministry of Environment, Dr. Advi Lal. He is a master of these things, so he will give the, and I request all the operators, take the your all queries cleared from Dr. Advi Lal. Your A type, A category, B category, C, whatever things is there, he is the master. And we also have with us today, after this session, they will present Mr. P.K. Chaudhary and Mr. Seal, the chairman of ACIA Assam and chairman of ACAC. And they will also give a presentation that the SOP adopted by the government of Assam to give the B2 category C within 45 days, and which is about to be taken as a role model for the country, for all the states. So they will also present. So you can also get your doubts clarified either from Dr. Lal or Mr. Chaudhary and Mr. Seal. Next slide, please. Sir, this is to tell that regulatory requirement over the project life cycles. The new block, you have got, you do the to do the environmental sensitivity, then seismic survey you do. If it's a forest land, take the forest permission. Then when you do the drilling, you require the environment clearance, forest clearance, the city, etc., etc. But one more thing you must be aware, whether it is a PL or PM, while drilling, you have to get the block notified as a mines, and under the Mines Act 1952 and OMR, so that before start drilling activities. Then similarly for development, you require such kind of approvals. Then producing assets like this. Next slide, please. Sir, I will take your time in this particular slide. This is the key things of the basic. Your approvals requires to carry out an E&P activity in a block. Government of India has given you a block. So block may be a PL or PML. So if it is an offshore, the central government gives you directly. If it is an onshore, on the allotment of the government of India, you have to go to the state, and state will allot it. And there is a question, if there's a, suppose it's there's a question also, if suppose it's a PL, even if it contains a forest land, no matter, state government can give PL directly. But if it is a PML, if contains a forest land, then the state government will send for the central government's approval under section 2.3 for taking clearance prior to giving your PML allotment. Once your PML has been given, now you have to identify your drilling plan or drilling locations after carrying out survey. And with the PML, with the grant of PML, except seismic survey, anything you can do in the block without EC, environment clearance, whether it is a B2 category or A category, without taking consent to establish, without these three things is must to start physical activity in a block. So EC, you know that exploration has been categorized as B2, given from the state, and A category development project from the state. So there was a industry had a doubt that exploration is taking place in B2 and development is taking place under A, and they thought that suppose if somebody wanted that both exploration and development combined, how it will go. It has well clarified by the Ministry of Environment. We had a meeting on 24th of March. It is still told that any project proponent wants any exploration development combined project can apply in A category, but they should not ask for exemption for the exploration part. They will require their EIS public hearing, etc., etc. So apart from this, the basic requirement of environment clearance, CT and grant of PL or PML, you will require the forest clearance, then the standing committee approval, and the CRZ clearance if your area is falling on those areas. You will require the NOC for the Central Groundwater Authority if you have a program to draw the groundwater for the E&P operations. And here I will tell, before start of the drilling, you have to have the mines notified, declared by appointing your mines manager, safety officer, installation manager, like under the position of Mines Act before starting the drilling. And one more thing we'll like to highlight here, that for any drilling rigs, there is a drilling or workover rigs, you need the PESO approval for the diesel tanks for every movement of the rig from place A to B, B to C, whatever, every place. Because as per the petroleum debt rules, it is a more than 1,000 K tank. You cannot store more than that without license. And for the same rig moving place to place and asking for fresh license through PESO, going through the DC steps, the actions was taken, and we had a meeting with the Honorable Minister on the December 19, and it was flatly told every time we have to take license for the PESO for the diesel tanks. And to relieve that, they said that you can only deploy browser tankers under Form 19. So practically it being now implemented as on date by the Cane India in Rajasthan field, and so because they got the notice, and other part is not strictly implemented, but these are the ground reality. And so far the environment clearance concerned, I would like to further tell environment clearance will be given to you, but subject to if it is a forest clearance also associated within the 12 months. If you do not get the forest clearance for the thing, your environment clearance proposal will get auto delisted, and once you get the thing, you can delist it. Next slide, please. Apart from these are the basic thing what I said, then when you go through the ENP process in a block, you will require NOC if you go for mixed urban forest land. For the drilling location or the construction of production installation, you have to acquire the revenue land. And for the pipeline construction, you can go for pipeline acquisition by appointing CA under PMP Act. Then the Director General Foreign Trade clearance you require for imported project material, clearance for Ministry of Defence for sensitive border area and offshore vessels, clearance for Defence Research and Development Authority after obtaining the clearance for MOD, visa clearance for the foreign nationals, from Director of Mine Safety, because you have to open a mine before start of drilling. And you see, ENP operation, all operations are not taken under mines, because like pipeline and certain installation which is not close to mine, then those are taken under Factory Act. So require also the approval from the Director, Chief Inspector of Factories of the state, respective states under Factory Act. Next slide, please. So these are the another thing you require. You require the license from the approval license from the PESO, HG tank for rigs, tanks, tank farms, pipelines, OCS, GCS, LPG pipelines, etc. under Explosive Act like this. Then consent to operate from OSD for offshore drilling. This is a mandatory from 2009. Then all you have to take approval from the Commissioner for registration of workers, approval from tax authorities, approval from excise warehouse, pre-commissioning safety audit clearance from OSD for all ENP installation and pipelines. PNGRB also you require the conformity of the standards, approval of site disaster management plan from the district administrator before start of operation, NOC for Gram Panchayat and Village Panchayat for establishing the factory premises, NOC from town planning officers for the Town and Compulsory Act, approval from fire service, and you require various communication licenses like your all the walkie-talkie, etc., whatever is being used. Next slide, please. These are the environment various regulations. I am not going to tell. This is just for information. This I will share the PPT. You will get from this. Just I have jotted down. Next slide, please. Here I will again this slide. I would like to tell the other things that whole ENP operation is being administered under multiple ministries and multiple authorities. Ministry of Labor and Employment, they are under Mines Act and administered by DGMS. Ministry of Labor and Employment again under Factories Act is administered by Chief Inspector of Factories. Ministry of Commerce and Industry for the explosive and PESO license, and under MOPNG that PNGRB rules regulations. Then Oilfield Regulation Development Act with PNG rule, and under MOPNG OSD. These are our statutory acts and the authority bodies. Next slide. Now I will just go in a brief. Now I have almost time to show you, because you will get from the PowerPoint the flow chart of various clearances. Next slide. This is the environment clearance flow chart, category A and category B. So it is you can get it. Basically, here the only thing I would like to tell Dr. Arbilal will tell you much, and you can get, and he's a very expert man. You can get all the inputs, whatever clarification. We got a right man today with us. So category A and B is there. Category B, under category B, the OCS, GCS, and the isolated storage tank already was there. Now under category B, B2, that explosion has come, and category A all are there, all explosion development, everything. And but only thing that category B project also can become a category A project, provided the general condition what we have shown in the right column. If it is applicable category B, then that category B becomes category A. This is just a slide where when I share you can go through it. Here nothing much to discuss. Next slide. This is the EIA notification timeline given for the grant of environment clearance. Here only I would like to tell that basically it takes 11 to 12 months for getting for A category EC from the center. And here only thing you must know that we need a rapid EIA study to complete in 4 months by taking 2 samples per week, and you require for one season of 3 months. Hardly you require 24 samples in 3 months, excluding the monsoon season. And all these timelines are specified in the EIA notification. Next slide, please. This is the flow chart we have given. I've given you, and I have also shared you later on the minuted the forest clearance flow chart, which is being followed from the 1st of November 2014 to the Poribesh Portal online system. So these are the total flow chart. Here we will tell you the forest clearance has got a hurdles that are taking time, 3 to 4 years basically, because of all the star marked places. One is the delay with the nodal officer. One is the delay with the DFOs. One is the delay getting the FRA certificate, and another delay is getting the CLN. These 4 are the major hurdles, and all the proposals of oil and gas mining, it is the up to even for 1 hectare the approval required from the center, and even MOFCC regional office cannot do, even though are empowered up to 40 hectares, they cannot do, because the mining project is not empowered to the regional offices, so it goes to there. So even up to less than 40 hectares, state government routed the result to the regional office, now called IRO, to the MOFCC Delhi. And if the project is more than 40 hectare area, then they send directly to Delhi state government for the approval. And if the project land involves more than 100 hectare land, then site inspection is must before granting forest clearance. Next slide, please. This is the flow chart of the forest clearance. You submit to nodal officer. Nodal officer, once it online releases, goes to DFO. DFO releases, goes to FCCF. Then it comes back to nodal officer. Nodal officer says to the State Department of Forest. Then goes to IRO, MOFCC. They send to MOFCC Delhi. MOFCC Delhi, after approval, sends back to MOFCC. Then goes to nodal officer. Then the commission comes to the project proponent. In parallel, you have to do the certificate for FY 2006 from the DCs. Next slide, please. This is the timeline. It is being prescribed in the FC Act that nodal officer should not hold than 10 days. DFO not more than 30 to 60 days. So, but these are practically is not happening in the field for the various reasons. Next slide. This is the timeline given for the central approval. Next slide. This is another thing. This is a thing you must be aware for getting a FRA certificate from the DC. The project proponent has to submit the application first to the office of DC. Then the application the DC forwards to the Integrated Tribal Development Project Office of the district. Prior to that, the project proponent has to conduct take the resolution from the Gram Sabha hearings. Number of Gram Sabha located in the forest. It will be made as per the whatever be the number. Then taking the resolution of the FRC committee. Then this has to be submitted to IDTP. After doing that, there is another stage that the subdivisional level it has to be discussed and approved. After doing that, next final approval is being given to in the meeting at the district level. So these all the star mark things are the long lead cases for this getting FRA certificates, and averagely it takes around 2 to 3 years minimum for one FC proposal. Slide. Next slide, please. This is the wildlife clearance flow chart. In the right side, I have given the timeline. Here you submit the applications. The DFO takes long time. Then it given to state government for this thing to placing before the state wildlife board. Then the approval by state standing committee. Though there are timelines specified 30 days, 15 days, 30 days, but it takes a quite long time for the projects. You require this approval of Standing Committee of Wildlife, even for projects on the ESZ area, non-forest land, 10 kilometers from the boundary of the protected areas as per order of Supreme Court 2006 December. Next slide. This is the CRZ clearance. You can through it. This is not much applicable to all areas except the coastal areas. So I'm not elaborating. You can go through it and see it. Next slide. This is the I will tell to take the attention of the my ENP operators. You must ensure that the environment regulations when you get the ECs, whether A type, B type, you have to submit these returns and ensure it is being complied. You have to submit the hazardous waste authorization annually. Environmental statement you have to submit annually. Biomedical waste return you have to submit annually. ES return you have to submit annually. CTO compliances you have to submit 6 monthly. Battery return you have to submit 6 monthly. EC compliance you have to submit 6 monthly. Your TSDF return you have to submit quarterly. Environment monitoring reports you have to submit monthly. Next slide. This is the monitoring data where the project site ENP industry should do it under the conditions stipulated in EC or the condition of consent given by the PCBs. Next slide. This is I have just brought it down since you will be before starting the drilling activities. You will open up your mine under the Mines Act and OMR 1984 amended 2017. You must be aware that these are the forms or returns you have to submit to the mines authorities. These are the list, and all these form samples will be provided to you. Those who are interested, if they put them. This is the ENP operator. I will just tell you that what are the changes has happened in the recent changes, just to keep you updated. Seismic survey nowadays allowed in forest land with 800 short hole for 10 square kilometer. Oil and gas exploration activities converted to as a B2 category with effect from January 20. Then amendment of EI notification 2006 is being draft notification published in March 2020, which is yet not finalized. Then there is an arrangement made by the ministry by a notification in May 2019 that the state forest rich state where the CA land is not available, they can arrange land with the other state which is having less forest cover, for which definitely require the certificate from the chief secretary of the state that there is no land available in the state. Then there is another change available that the FC if you have obtained for the exploration drilling, which will equally hold good for the future development activities, and you did not apply again for development activities. Then monthly 2 meetings are taking place for the EACs for the month of November 2020. The toll validity has been extended from 3 years to 4 years, and ECCT one-step process MOFCC has introduced the 5th of February 2020. Though implementation is still under active consideration, and one must be aware that violation of EI notification 2006 cases are now being dealt through EAC hearing, and EDS query against the EC proposal. If not reply within 30 days, the proposal get auto delisted. Next slide, please. Another thing I will tell that the CER, Corporate Environmental Responsibility, which was being put into the use from the 2018, now it has been omitted. So when the Dr. Abilal Sab comes, we will ask him also some question. I am also having. I will ask here, sir. Then, sir, Form 2 for the B2 category EC, which was there initially, has been omitted, which also Dr. Abilal can tell us. Then EC proposal get auto delisted if because of you don't submit or you do not give the EDS query. Now the provision is available in the ministry's website. You can release the project yourself without taking any help or approval of MOFCC. It is now under the authorities. The power is given to the user agencies. Exploration drilling can be applied under B2 category, and development in A category, and exploratory development you can apply in A category. B2 category EC approval, either the SOP adopted in January 21 in Assam or will be introduced across the country, or DGH may be authorized to grant B2 category EC, which Ministry of Environment is actively considering. ARJ notification amendment for the B2 category EC is going to take place soon, which is already approved through the meeting and is under process of approval for releasing the order. EC validity of PML block likely to be coterminous with the PML validity period. As of now, it is 7 years. And in case of PL, Ministry is thinking that to make it 7 years, or the validity of the PL, whichever is earlier. And DGH is also likely to be authorized to issue EC compliance certificate for the expansion projects, like in parallel to which is by the by the IRO, RO of the MOFCC or the PCBs. And the public hearing, we heard now, as of now, the below ADC ADM is not allowed to chair the sessions. Now SDMs also may be allowed. Their ministry is considering so that to have a public hearing process faster. Next slide, please. Now, upstream oil and gas activities related guideline and OM. This is I have already talked my talks. Next is Dr. Abilal and Chodisa will talk. Now, I will only show you that the guidelines and things and background supporting document I am going to share with you, for which you have to put your email ID in the chat box. Next slide, please. This is the good international practices, industry practices, GIPIP. It is being designed by DGH. I will share this document. Next slide. Ministry of Environment Forest had made a technical guideline, oil and gas offshore and onshore activities. I will share this one. Oil and gas transportation pipeline. I will share this one. Next slide. That common effluent treatment plant. I will share this one. Isolated storage handling hazardous chemical. This guideline also I will share. This is the right side. I am giving you that standard thoughts of EIS studies published by MOFCC. Then companion for ECFC wildlife gadget notifications. This also I will share. Next slide. This is the Forest Conservation Act, which is being under implementation since March 19. It is a current thing, and by this supersedes the all earlier things. All must refer this on the document, and to apply the online system in the Porives portal. This is the user manual guideline that also I am going to share. If people want, you can share it. You can put your things there. Next slide. This is the activity specific TOR EIS studies by MOFCC. Then compendium by EIA 2006 guide notification. Next slide. This is the left one is the compendium of Environment Act rules and notifications. It is prepared by Gujarat Ecology Commission. I will share. And right side one is the NPV rate revision by IIFM Bhopal and FSI Dehradun. Next slide. This is the how the oil and gas activities impact the environment. This is a study. Left side one is a case study of Indian, and right side is the report of the UNEP. The operator can refer for their interest. Next slide. This to the what high level inquiry committee was constituted. That report is there published. I will also share with you. And this is the Be Smart, Be Prepared, the gadget, the disaster guideline by National Disaster Management Authority. Apart from that, these are the all things, and I am going to share with you the circulars. This is that SC standing approval not required for the pipeline for the project executed in ESZ area if there is no EC applicable. So that notification I will share with you. Regarding the EDS query, 30 days if you are delay, it will be listed. That OM I will share. Then shift of location of completion of public hearing will attract press FC. Will attract press environment clearance. This OM I will share. Then stage 1 FC submission timeline is 12 months. I will submit that OM, share that OM. Pending submission of stage 1 FC, EC cannot be granted. That OM I will share. Public hearing exempted within the industrial estate and industrial parks. I will share that OM. Forest clearance is coterminous with the validity of the mining lease. Night shift duty pattern for women employees in mines. For that, the gadget notification I will share. The deal cutting hazardous material, I will share that notifications. Biomedical waste treatment also require EC. That OM I will share. Then groundwater attraction, there is a gadget notification from the Government of India in September 2020. This is a very vital document you must start. Then the 19 number IROs formed by the MOFCC by changes of jurisdictions of the earlier regional offices. So this also I will share so that you know which states are there coming under which IROs. Next slide. Okay, this is only from my side. Thank you. So now I request our Dr. Abilal sir to please sir give your valuable things, sir. Last time you came from the February 2020 that workshop, we had a less time. Sir, you do not constrain on the time. And sir, whatever the queries the people ask, sir, please give us, sir. We await to hear from you, sir. Thank you.
Shall I start?
No.
Yes, sir, please.
Key.
Okay. First of all, good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I just congratulate to the Directorate General of Hydrocarbon, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gases for organizing this stakeholder sensitization for upstream oil and gas exploration and production activities in the Indian sedimentary basin. Everybody know that we know that this is very important, a high important time, because the oil and gas companies in our country are giving good news in the field of exploration of oil and gas production. Like Mr. Lahiri mentioned about in my discussion, I will explain two, three, four, five important things, so that you can get the environment clearance in very less time. As the process of environment clearance already explained by Mr. Lahiri, because this environment clearance is very important permission for start of the project, and EC are being under the provision of Environment Impact Assessment Notification 2006 for the project activities related to petrochemical products and petrochemical based processing. And because I have seen most of the participants are related to the same field, and they may be aware that the EIA is used as a management tool to minimize adverse impact of development projects on the environment, to achieve sustainable development through timely, adequate, sustainable development, corrective and protective mitigation measures. And this whole process, if we see basic principle of EIA notification, there are basically four very important stages. One is the screening, second is the scoping, third one is the public consultation, and fourth one is the appraisal by respected expert appraisal committee, or at the level of state SEAC committee. In overall whole this notification, if we talk about, there are two important category of the project: category A project and category B project. Category A project are appraised by the expert appraisal committee by the at level of Central, and category B project are appraised as the level of SIA or SEC level. And this category B project further subdivided into category B1 and B2. Now, there are 10 type of activities. If we talk about in the EIA notification, there are something about 39 sector. So depending upon the pollution issues and different type of other issues, this whole categorization of project are meant. Like for example, if we talk about category B2, this is very simple process. In this case, only the project proponent to make the form, prepare the form 1 and PFR and EMP. Not they have go to all four processes and like preparation of EMP report and doing the public consultation. So for example, in B2, it's very simple process. But why the project, even I've seen in B2 also, the proponent are not filling or preparing the properly form 1 and PFR. Because if we see our form 1, this is very simple and systematic one. And just read the question, what are the question in the form 1, accordingly provide the answer. And like in this whole group, most of the PSU and some of the organization also there, we do not dependent on the consultant also. As a member secretary, in many of the time, it's a general trend, since we have given the project to this ex-consultant, consultant will make the report and he will do. The consultant is nothing, it is just advocate. He will, because you or at the or plant manager at the head of the plant, they are the expert and brilliant one. They can only prepare best. So basically, since is the procedure to present before the EAC by accredited consultant, because they have the laboratory, they can make the EIMP report and do the baseline study. That's why I just request in this forum to all my colleagues, kindly, when you given the task to the consultant, your environment person should sit there. Just check whether have you do this fill this form 1 and PFR or the EIMP report. Where is the problem? So, and checklist is very simple. For example, if you want to apply for category A project at the ministry level, just go through last 10 or 5 minutes of the EAC. Just prepare the questions raised by the EAC during last 5 to 10 EAC meeting. There may be about 50 questions. Different type of questions are there. Once your consultant complete the report, draft a report, and when it's just ready to submit or upload on the Parvez portal, just sit in one place and ask the question from the consultant. See, this is the question asked by the committee in last 5-10 minutes. Where is the reply of this question? You just show in the report. Accordingly, if you do like that root cause analysis, where is the problem, how to go, definitely your reports will be good, excellent. There, if report is good, there is no court case, no violation, nothing is there, everything will be there. Because just simply getting the EC, it's not a simple issue. EC will get, but problem is that after getting the EC, when you go to the monitoring and implementation of the project, there may be a lot of they can capture you in the court, and then a lot of litigation, and why to waste the time? So a preparation of different type of report is very, very important. As per my experience, I just say that some of the organizations they are doing, their environment person sitting on the consultant, and they are just preparing, guiding them to prepare the report this and this way. And if the people will not do like, but some of the people, the organization are not doing. If they not do, definitely they may face problem later on. Now, with respect to timeline, if we want to talk about, I want to highlight various measures initiative taken by the Ministry of Environment Forest for streamlining of environmental clearance process. For example, if we talk about categorization of offshore and projects onshore oil gas exploration as category B2 project. This is very, very important initiative by the ministry, and this is the high time and very, very important time. You just plan accordingly so that whole block, at least within 1 year, this whole exploration, 1 year or 2 year, the whole exploration to be completed by the central government or their agency, because this process is simple. You just prepare the form 1 and make the PFR, and there is no public hearing, nothing. It's a very, very simple process, and we are further trying to, in EI 2020 also, this will be converted into very further simple process. Second, if we talk about during the preparation of EIMP report, earlier the baseline data concept, you can take the base, you can take the baseline data after grant of tower, but now the process is not like that. If you want to think today, you want to do start the project in this particular X place, so basically you can start the collection of baseline data before getting the terms of reference also. Because but just take care when you submit the EIMP report before the Parvez portal, it should not be more than 3-year-old data. And second important thing, the auto TOR system is there. Now the TOR in this chemical and petrochemical sector, we are not taking to the EC. You just apply today, within 5 days you can get the terms of reference. It's very simple. Even if ministry accept today, and then in the middle night at 12 you can get the terms of reference, because the process like that. If the member secretary accept, it was 30 days. Now just submit properly, whole report is okay, within same day, even same day you can get the terms of reference. So this is the system now on the Parvez portal. Next one is increase the validity of environment clearance from 7 to 10 years. This is also a major relief, and even in this corona time, COVID, the ministry extended 1 year, furthermore 1 year validity of the environment clearance. If you see earlier, there are different type of EC and standard conditions with respect to environment clearance. Now slowly we converted, we standardized, optimized all the environment clearance. If you see The whole system is now systematic. You will not getting too much clearance, not conditions which are not implementable. So accordingly, ministry also working on that. And industry aware that ministry is conducting the EAC meeting through video conferencing. Every month there are two meetings, two-time meeting hota hai. And if you apply today, within 15 days, definitely it go to the committee 100% if your application is complete in all respect. So again, I'm focusing when the ministry is giving such type of thing, why not project proponent to kindly examine the whole application before submitting to the Parvez portal? If you do this thing, because as a member secretary, I'm just giving the idea, I'm spending about 3 to 4 hours on one application. A lot of mistakes I find. We want, there should not be mistake. If you prepare the report accordingly, immediately you apply, immediately you get the acceptance letter and immediately get to the committee. And we are aware that ministry also made comprehensive review of EI notification 2006 and issued a draft EI notification 2020, which is also under deliberation at various stages. And this online submission of application on Parvez portal, this is very, very important thing. Nowadays, the ministry, even we are not dependent to our division also, and whole system is online. If you apply, application is complete, immediately you can get. Recently on Parvez portal, if you are feeling some issues on Parvez portal, be it some of the raise complaint system also, so that you can make the complaint and record the complaint accordingly. Similar type of complaint will resolve across the sector, because it's a system. If we remove one problem, so that this can do for all 39 sector. So this Parvez system, now I just want to explain before this group, ministry further also started working on this centralized processing center green, CP green. And this is the platform by that you can get the K by P, know your project. We are making this system above than the Parvez portal, so that you just apply at one place. For then system will tell you for this location you need forest clearance, then your automatic application go to forest being, and the system will tell about this particular area, project area need NBWL clearance, CGW, what type of clearance is there. You just fill the whole application one place, and this application will go here and there, and everybody accordingly process the thing and upload the clearance and at one place. For example, nowadays we also feel conducting public hearing is very, very difficult task to the project proponent, because after giving the terms of reference and the project proponent make the draft EIAP report, 3 month baseline data and everything, and this to the State Pollution Control Board, and the State Pollution Control Board also took too much time and taking the appointment from the district magistrate and other ADM level officer. But there is no linking of that system with our Parvez portal. So that's why we are also not knowing where is the project, why the PP is not submitting the final EIMP report. So on this CPCB Green platform, we are also on the discussion or finalization. The public hearing also to be conducted through that CPC Green or future CPCB Green system, so that you get the terms of reference, apply the draft EMP report to SPCB for public hearing, and SPCB will take the appointment from the district magistrate DM, and the SPCB to upload all public hearing proceeding to that system, and accordingly they will just when you fill the form 2, this will automatically go on that system. So basically the system is like nowadays you don't know about at this project what type of clearance is there. So we may mention about this whole decision support system on there, also K by P system also there. So basically, I just want to tell, ministry is smart, project proponent to also be smart. They also think about, I have 3 locations. If I put project at this location, what type of clearance is there? Like KBC system, K by system. Know your identity. Different concepts are there. So accordingly, just think about, if I put this project here, I can get less clear. I require less clearance so that the project will be fast. I'm just giving one example. Suppose initially this block is there, and block having say 100 hectare, and in 100 hectare, suppose 25 hectare is the area where no forest land is there, no wildlife clearance, nothing is there. So why not you just take split the project in such a manner so this 25 you can get immediately hectare, and rest you can apply and after some time get, so that project should not delay. So like make the per chart system. It's very simple. I didn't understand why every place earlier it was listening that environment clearance take time. It's not take time. It is basically just application. If you fill the application, apply the system, how to at one place, which place we have to go accordingly. If you do that, I think there is no type of problem. I just explained to you there are various forms on the Parvez portal. I just go one by one, like form 1. Form 1 is the application for getting terms of reference for making the draft EIMP report if it's a category A project. And for B2 project, this also be filled. Now second form 2, this form 2 is application for environment clearance. And I'm just giving one example. When you apply for category A project before the EAC, I many times find the form 2 is different than the EIMP report. Now think about, these all projects can do the code. If you are putting in form 2 some X figure or data, and that data is not having in the EIMP report, so there may be problem. So kindly check when you fill the form 2 and extract the data from EIE report. So such type of mistake do not happen. If we avoid such type of thing immediately, because ministry also want ki your report should be as per this form 2, and accordingly immediately will place before the EAC. For example, form 3, if you need any amendment terms of reference. Form 4, if any amendment in environment clearance is there, and form 5, if any extension of validity of terms of reference. This is also very simple one. Form 6, if you want to take extension of validity of environment clearance. I've seen many times in this form 6, most of there is one column provide the implementation status. You do not believe, people just the photo of the site. Even they do not want to write this project got environment clearance on this date, and there are some delay and something like that because some or maybe financial crisis or something like that. If you record each and every properly, I think there should not be any problem. I've seen many projects in the implementation status, they are simply क्लिकिंग सम ऑफ द फोटो विच सोच कुछ पत्थर रखे, स्टोन, कुछ पेड़ पौधे लगे, ऐसा बना के. तो दिस इज प्रॉब्लम इज दैट सपोज मिनिस्ट्री से भी जाता है, ईएसी भी छूट जाता है, एनजीओ बैठा हुआ है, वो तुरंत उसका देखेगा कि ईएसी एंड मिनिस्ट्री हैज नॉट अप्लाइड द माइंड और कोर्ट में चला जाएगा. तो बेसिकली कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट बड़ा प्रॉपरली उसको अच्छे से अगर आप भरेंगे, डेफिनेटली कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती है. अगला एक फॉर्म होता है फॉर्म 7, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, ट्रांसफर ऑफ एनवायरमेंट क्लियरेंस, because Mr. Lahiri during various discussion mentioned that industry want to understand the process of transfer of EC. So basically I just want to say that the transfer of EC is very simple process, and this governed under para 11 of EI notification 2006. Now the transfer of EC basically having many type of cases. For example, complete transfer of EC. Suppose there is a company A got the environment clearance say in 2015, and this A company basically wholly purchase or transfer or ownership change or not change, something like that, then taken by the B company. So if whole project is transferring from A to B, it's very simple process. Simply A company will provide the no objection certificate, NOC, saying that कि मैंने इसको बेच दिया है and मेरा इसका now this new company will take care. Now B company, the coming one, that B company will take the undertaking saying that कि we have purchased or taken company, and now all the EC conditions mentioned in that EC dated wild letter number हम लोग इसको implement करेंगे. you could not believe, most of the time the NOC and undertaking are not mentioning the detail of EC also. Now think about, if NOC didn't mention kiska NOC hum de rahe hain, what is the EC number, what is the date of that EC, what is the name of project, then how ministry can consist of the thing. So I just request, when the complete transfer of A to B company, it's a very simple process. NOC देना है, undertaking देना है, और उस प्रोजेक्ट का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन देना है, बिकॉज ईसी ट्रांसफर हमेशा होता है, इट इज इन वैलिडिटी पीरियड, तो ईसी शुड वैलिड, दैट्स व्हाई वी ऑलवेज आस्क इन आवर फॉर्म 7 आल्सो, इफ यू सी देयर इज अ कॉलम नोन एज डिटेल्स इम्प्लीमेंटेशन स्टेटस, तो उसमें फोटो खींच के पेड़ पौधे का नहीं लगाना है, उसमें लिखना है कि क्यों डिले हुआ, व्हाई यू वांट टू समथिंग लाइक दैट. तो दीज आर द वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. Second type of split, and again I'm saying this complete transfer never go to the EAC also. This simple process, it's an administrative one. Even we are further trying to do this thing, even like automatic TOR also we are planning. Why not to generate automatic transfer of EC letter without आप लोग सुन पा रहे हैं सर? Are you name?
You're audible, sir.
Okay. And second is the basically partial transfer of EC. Suppose a company have 10 activity, and out of 10 activity, this A company want to keep 5 activity with him and 5 activity to give to B company. So since this is basically, in other words, we can say splitting of EC into 2 part, and one is partially transfer from A to B and one is with the A. Such type of case, because they are a technical nature, which part go to here and there, that part basically go to the EAC. If we see the, as per the EI notification 2006, there is no criteria for splitting in 2 part or 3 part. There is no rule, but since we can transfer A to B, we are using this concept also, and iske base pe we had transferred, splitted many environment clearance from A to B and partly with A. Basically we can transfer using that clause also. But in EI notification 2020, we just taken this whole 2 part में तोड़ना, 3 part में तोड़ना, we have taken this thing, and this because it's a technical matter, so that how this effluent management system किसके साथ जाएगा, how this whole, that's why this generally go to the committee. And if you want to check, you go to industry 3 minutes, industry 2 minutes, industry 1 minutes also, minutes of EAC meeting. We have done many of the cases, splitted company A to B, A plus B and B plus C, different type of things like that. And second, basically like I can say, some of the time we received some project like splitting and bifurcation of EC also. For example, A company got the environment clearance, and due to some business strategy, this A company some part given to B and some part given to C company, say D company also. Such type of projects so go to the committee and definitely resolve. But in this case, now trick is like for example, you then during the inception you also know how the project A say B C D, because you know ki today A companies take EC and maybe after some time this may be split into B C D. So during inception of the project design should in such a manner, so that this whole project divided initially in the this is part 1, part 2, part 3, something like that, so that when you transferring this whole thing, it's very very easy, the activity can be transferred from A to B plus C plus D, something like that. So these are basically very very simple process. And I just want to tell something more also, like overall I can say, when you start make the PERT chart, make the know your project, what type of approvals required. For example, the block, if whole thing can be divided into simple, middle, and difficult one. For example, if the whole block doesn't have any forest land, no wildlife, nothing is there, it's very simple process. Take EC directly. If the block involve EC, FC, NBWL and other clearances, just so accordingly इस टाइप से डिजाइन कीजिए प्रोजेक्ट को, so that it's not like that कि it's a big project और सबको जोड़ के उसमें रख रखा है, and you will lose some time also. And filling preparation of EIA report, EMP report, it should be quantitative type in nature. We have seen many of the time it's just history written in the EIMP report. It's not needed. EIA EMP report should not be bigger one. It should be very crisp. कम लिखना हो चाहिए उसके अंदर, and it should be monitorable. And उसका क्या, how to, मतलब overall if we see the concept, what are the impact, how to do the mitigation, कैसे उसको रोकना है, this whole EIMP. And we have seen nowadays a lot of accident, chemical accident, and you may be aware that it's happened. So like there is one very, very important chapter, that is risk assessment. You cannot believe some of the project proponent, they are just writing risk assessment qualitative in nature. It should not be qualitative, it should be quantitative. And how to link this off-site emergency plan and on-site emergency plans. If this happen, what to do, where to go, who's the contact number. So this should be like, because we have taken, we got many of the accident. On that basis, we have to do the root cause analysis and think about कि क्या हम और better कर सकते हैं. So these are the important things. Overall, I can say, if you write Form 1, PFR, EIEMP report, and all the documents properly, definitely it will help you. And because if you record some wrong thing, it's uploaded on the Parvez portal, it's a legal document, and you definitely face a problem afterwards. And now I just want to tell, there are recently ministry issued a notification on 2nd March 2021. This notification is very, just read properly. This will help a lot to the industry with respect to no pull load. If you want to do the expansion, there is no further requirement of environment clearance, and you can change the product mix with the same pollution load. Just read properly. This will also help thing. एक मिस्टर लहरी जी ने बोला विद रिस्पेक्ट टू CROM का बात है, तो CROM is definitely, earlier it was based on, in 2018 it was based on basically some brownfield project and greenfield project. Now ministry basically converted this this amount should be a part of EMP basically. So basically your EMP should be strong. EMP should cover all the environment management plan activity and how to do the this thing and social, each and everything accordingly. Even no need to put the CR bird also. And now there is also recently with respect to green belt. So green belt also OM is there, that also you can check. So basically I just tell, it's very, very simple thing. It's not a rocket science, very simple. If you apply ministry, even for example, if you are feeling any problem filling the application, we have there is a raise complaint on Parvez portal. You can use that portal. This will definitely help. You can email me also. You can email to our NIC team. They will help. In the CA level also, everybody is help. That's no problem. But issues that we have to also take care. We have to do this activity in fast. Last month, I have visited one of the Ankleshwar ONGC, your asset. Definitely, they are doing very good work. So I just want to tell this whole system, everything should be. If we do systematic, definitely there should not be problem. Ministry is there. We always try to help to our project program, because we have to go fast and we have to increase the production of fuel in our country, so that slowly we have to we have to convert this self-reliance on this fuel system. Now in these words, I just thank you giving this. Thank you very much for your kind attention. If any question is there, I'm ready to reply the answers. Thank you very much.